Welcome to the final day of the 5-day pre-program. I am so glad that you're here and you have been on this journey with me for the last 5 days. And even if you didn't have the time to catch the live or maybe not even watch the replays, I just appreciate you being here, right now. So maybe you're watching this live or you are catching a replay. I appreciate you for being here because every day we come together here, talk about our mindset, talk about our beliefs, talk about the stories that we are telling and the things that we are manifesting. Hi Bhupi, hi Akanksha. So today is going to be a really interesting topic, as I think a juicy topic, as I like to say. It's a little controversial because I think everyone, when they hear about the law of attraction or when they come across the idea of law of attraction, I think a lot of us were introduced to it by The Secret. There's this misunderstanding, I'd say, where there's this idea that you don't have to take any action. Well, that's something that I want to really clarify today. I am not against action at all, but what I know from the understanding of law of attraction, my own experiences, and also now having worked with a lot of people, that hard work is not required, suffering is not required, proving your worthiness is not required, but action, it happens. It's not even required, but it happens very naturally. So that is something that I want to talk about today and really clear this misconception of how things manifest in our reality, because sometimes it feels like you had to be in the right place at the right time and do the right thing to be able to receive the thing that you wanted, to be able to manifest what you wanted. And also there are a lot of experiences where it feels like I didn't have to do anything and it just showed up in my experience. So I want to really clarify this today. So I have that discussion for you. I have some journal prompts which will help you to take the next step towards the thing that you desire. And finally, if you'd like to join this live call, today is the final day, and I hope to connect with you and talk to you and hear your insights, hear your experiences. If you have any questions specifically to your desire, I would love to take them on and talk to you about it. So let's get started. Let's talk about action, because that's a question, again, another question that I've received so many times from people who are new to the law of attraction, who are kind of interested in how things manifest, but then there's this hustle culture, there's this culture of working hard, blood, sweat and tears, burning the midnight oil. It's really glorified, it's really put on a pedestal in that way, that wow, you have worked so hard and now you deserve the thing that you want. So the premise of it all, before we even get into the action part of it, the premise of it all is that we are already worthy. We don't have to prove our worthiness to anyone, because a lot of times what happens, we think that we have to jump through so many hoops, we have to do this and then that and this so many things, and then we are worthy of the thing that we desire. Something that I talked about I think day before yesterday, when we were talking about our stories, is that there's an experience. One of the clients had this experience where she had been working in that capacity, that job, for almost a year, but she thought that only after she crosses 4 years in that company can she ask for a promotion, can she get the next post. And that's only because the first time she joined the company, she heard from one of her seniors that he worked for 4 years and then he had the position. But she was already qualified, she was already working in that capacity, she was already taking care of it, but she thought she needs to have that, spend that time for a year, and then only then she can get it. So there was a sense of needing to prove the worthiness. Hi Hayward, thank you for the hearts as always. Would like to invite you in case you're not driving. Hi Rohan. So that is the first basic premise. There is nothing that you need to prove. There's no worthiness that you need to prove anyone. In fact, I think in our society in general, there's a lot of needing to do this, and then you can go ahead and have that. Even in our education system, that way we have we are tested on our our scores are there, our ranks are there, and all of that is that okay, now that you have scored the highest rank, now you can have your business, or now you can have your degree. Akanksha, who had joined us, who's here as well right now, but on the first day she was sharing that she didn't have any degree in fashion designing, but now she has her business. She's working. She has, the beautiful things that she's creating. She has amazing people who want to buy from her, great connections, and everything that she learned was, through Google. So she didn't have to jump through the hoops. Like, it's not that it's wrong to go through, those courses. If that feels exciting for you, if that feels like the next logical step, sure, you should do it. But no one's asking you to prove your worthiness and justify yourself and all of that. So that's the interesting thing, that once you get to know about law of attraction, once you understand that you can have everything that you want, because you create with your thoughts, you create with the stories that you're telling yourself, you create with the beliefs that you hold, then you know that there is no other person in the equation that you have to prove your worthiness to. You get to set the steps for yourself. So that's the first thing that I wanted to really put out there. Now the second thing is the path of least resistance. Now that is something that I came across from Abraham Hicks in their teachings. In my opinion, one of the best teachers out there, about law of attraction, mindset, and how things manifest in our lives. So they talk about the path of least resistance. Now what happens is that sometimes you may have heard of many different manifestation stories, and sometimes people say, well, I created this vision board and I visualized and I thought about what I wanted, I got really clear on the details and everything, and it happened and it just manifested. I didn't have to do anything. Other times what happens is that you hear from other people, well, they did something else. They actually had to be in the right place at the right time, and there were these synchronicities, there were these coincidences that placed them in the right place where they could be there for the manifestation. The thing is that there is no best process for manifestation. There is no same equation. There's no, it's not the same path for everyone. Because the path of least resistance means that all of us have different beliefs. We manifest things in our reality on the basis of what we believe to be true, what we believe to be possible and probable. Now, if you're familiar with law of attraction, if you're familiar with different amazing manifestational things that happen around, then you probably have, a capacity, let's say, a capacity to imagine that there are more possibilities. There are ways in which things can come to your life which are not traditionally what you'd expect, right? Let's say that. And if you're not familiar with the law of attraction or manifestation and everything, you see that there are only A, B, C paths in front of you through which you can have what you want. So if I am someone who believes that it's only through A, B, C that the thing that I want can come to me, then I will only attract it through those paths. If I believe that there are more possibilities, there are different players involved, there are different variations that can happen, then I can attract the things in my life through different circumstances. But it's different for everyone, and it's different every time you're manifesting something, because the things will come to you through the path of least resistance, through the path which is most believable for you. So let me give an example. Like, if you think that, I want to hit the jackpot, I want to win the lottery, I want to get this $1 million, I want to become a crorepati and, win all of those things. If in your heart, in your mind, you believe that that's highly improbable, it's very difficult, it can't happen, but you're trying to visualize winning that, and it doesn't really excite you, it doesn't really feel good, still you are holding on to the belief that it's very difficult, then it won't come through that. Right? It will happen through some other path. The money will show up to you in a different way. So let me give you an example. I was booking tickets for my family to go to Germany, and we had a certain budget in mind. It was 2 lakh Indian rupees. 2 lakh is, I think, 200,000 Indian rupees. So I had that vision that, okay, this is the kind of budget we have for this. We have to book the flight tickets. And I thought, okay, I'm going to manifest a discount. Now, being someone who understands law of attraction, being someone who's teaching about manifestation, I thought, well, I should be able to manifest a discount. So I was really hell-bent on being able to get it lower than 2 lakh rupees, but I wasn't able to. The flight tickets that we were booking, it just kept getting higher and higher than 2 lakhs. So eventually when we booked the flight tickets, it was 2 lakh Indian rupees. Now when that happened, I was quite disappointed, because I was like, I couldn't manifest that. But there was that resistance within me, right? There was the resistance. Path of least resistance means that there is resistance on the way, and we're going to take the easiest path around the resistance that you have. So I had heard from someone else who had got a lot of discounts, and they won something, some sort of jackpot or something, and they got a lot of discounts on their flight tickets. So I thought, well, maybe I could also have that. But I had beliefs that thought that it's not possible, it's really improbable. So what happened is that that thing happened. We paid for the flight tickets, it's a done deal, and I was feeling a little bit upset that I couldn't manifest it, but I eventually let it go. So I got into the space of, well, even though this happened, it's fine. I could feel sad about it, or I could let go, and I can imagine how it would feel to for it to be, a gift from someone. What would it feel like if it were a gift from someone? And then I thought, well, it is a gift from someone. Like, it's a wonderful thing that's happening. I'm going with my family to this place that I really wanted to go for so long, and I can get excited about it. Either I can stay in that resentment kind of a place that I didn't get it, I didn't have a discount or anything, or I could just like let it go, look forward to the trip that's about to come, and get into that feeling place of how would it feel if it was a gift, if it was free. And I wrote it like in big bold letters. I have a whiteboard in my room, that what if it was a gift. Now, just a few days later, what happened is that we had a family get together, and we're having a good time, having a great time. My grandfather's there, and he tells me, he's asking me about the trip, and he's very happy that all of us are going, and he's like just giving his warm regards and love. And then he hands me an envelope, and he said, "This is for the trip, have a good trip." And I didn't know what was there. This was right at the end of the get together, of the lunch that we were having together. As everyone left, I got in the car and I opened the envelope. There was a check for exactly 2 lakh rupees, exactly the amount that I was wanting to get a discount on. But I got the money from him, that like it was absolutely free. The thought that I put in my mind, like the belief that I kind of held on to, what if it was a gift? I manifested the money through him. Now, is it believable for me that my grandfather is loving and caring, and grandfathers and uncles and aunts usually give money to, their kids and the younger people in the family? Yes, that's quite believable. Is it believable? Was it crazy that he gave me that much money for the trip? It is kind of crazy, but still believable for me. So the money came through that. Was it believable for me that I could get a discount on, the flight tickets? Clearly not. Like, I still, I guess, don't have that kind of belief, because I have whatever experiences I've had and all of that. But it's not a problematic thing, because the path of least resistance is that even though you don't believe you can get a discount on your flight tickets, we'll find another way around, and law of attraction will get you this thing for free. It'll refund you completely on the flight tickets. So many things, so many times this happens. Like, I could have manifested that, but that was not my path of least resistance, and that's completely fine. So sometimes it happens that we feel that urge, we feel that excitement that, okay, I should move in this direction, I want to do this thing, and then you're placed at the right place to receive your manifestation. Just like I shifted my state of mind. Instead of feeling remorseful and resentful, I was like, let me just have fun with this, let me appreciate it, and let me just have a good time with my family. And I received the money. And sometimes we feel like, okay, we feel inspired to do the next thing, we feel inspired to create something, we feel inspired to say the right thing at the right time. I remember again with this trip, I had this whole this whole idea bubbling for a while, but there was this one moment, and I was not sure what's the right time to bring this idea to my family, that we should go and we should travel to Germany. But there was this one time I remember when we were in the car, and my dad and I was driving home, and I just felt like, this is the time that you have to say it. Let's just say that you have to, you're planning to go to Germany, you would love for the family to go to Germany. And that's when I said it. So action and law of attraction, this is a funny title that I put, because purposely I put it there, because there is this misconception that, well, you don't have to take any action. But when you believe in what you desire, when you believe that this is something that you're really excited about, this, when it rings your bells and this is exciting, hi Shreya, hi Dhruv, hi MJ, when you have a vision where you're headed, then you want to take the next step. When you don't have those fears and worries and doubts, you feel like, I want to do the next thing, I want to, you have more ideas come through you have creativity, you want to do the thing that feels like the next logical step. Like MJ, in his case, he's a wonderful cricketer. So to be connected to the vision of being a cricketer and everything, the next logical step, the exciting step, is to take care of your health, to join a cricketing academy. And I think, thank you so much, Shreya says, love this color on you. So it's like the natural thing that I want to do more of that. I want to be better at my skills with playing cricket. So it's just that it becomes a fun thing, it becomes a fun journey. You don't have to effort through it, you don't have to suffer through it, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You want to take action that feels good to you, and it only makes sense to you. Like, it people can resonate and they can be like, yeah, of course it makes sense that you're in the cricketing academy, it makes sense that you're setting up business and everything, but you do the action that feels in line with your desire. Sometimes that could feel like, other people can't see where you headed, and other people can't make sense of the action that you're taking, but then that that's the next thing that you have to take, and you go ahead and eventually everything works out, and then people come around and they're like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. So it's all about you. There's no proving the worthiness, there's no trying to justify what you want to do, why you want to do it. It's about what you want to do. So take action from a place of what feels good. And again, sometimes you'll manifest things out of thin air without having to take any action. That seems like you didn't take any actions, it will just come to you. Sometimes you will want to do the next thing that doesn't make sense, or it makes sense, and then the thing will show up. Hi Richa, so let me just see, I'll just go through the comments quickly. So many fun people joining here today. Disha, hi. I have a path of least resistance story. Kristen says hellbent. Yes, I was hellbent. Let's see if I can add Hayward. But before that, I just want to share another fun story. So one of my clients, let's see if she joins today or not. She wanted to have a job, right? She came from the US and she came to India and she wanted to have a job. Now, there was such a stark difference between where she was before, and there was a feeling of, okay, I have to prepare for the interviews, I have to prepare for this job. And so she was going through different things that you have to prepare as someone who's getting ready for an interview. So she's going through different questionnaires, she's going through different things that she should do, and it just felt so heavy. It felt like there was so much resistance. She did not want to do it. And of course, from that place you don't attract things into your life. There's more resistance that you're perpetuating. So anyway, what happened was that eventually she came to India, she let go of the whole resistance around that, and then when she got to India, then she got into a different zone altogether. She was having fun. Okay, excuse me, I really need to cough a second and have some water. I think speaking continuously does that to you for the last 5 days. Anyway, so when she got to India, she was like in a different space. She was happy, she was back at home, and she got busy preparing for something. There were different ceremonies happening at her home, so she got really engaged and happy in those things, and she was having a very good time. So I remember on this day when they had a big ceremony, she got a call from one of the companies, and they called her for a job interview. And the funniest thing is that she doesn't remember applying to this company at all, and it's a good company. It's a well-renowned company. So she was very surprised, and it wasn't even the first stage of interviewing. They were directly taking her to the second stage or the third stage. So she was really surprised. She was having a good time, and she really, really did well in the interview. And it was such a surprising thing because she was like, where did this come from? I didn't apply for this company. And then she actually had to go to the office, actually go to a different city and visit the office. And when she actually visited the office, then she had that reassurance, well, this was not a spam thing or a scam. This is an actual job interview. I actually landed this. She was really surprised. And in that case, it was so fun. Now she's working there and she's doing really well. She's been recognized and she's being appreciated. She's being promoted. All these wonderful things are happening to her. But the interesting thing is that she didn't apply. She didn't apply there in the first place. She doesn't remember how they got her resume. And of a lot of people who were applying, she was, I think, one of the few. I think only 3 people got through this thing, and they came into her life. She attracted them, and that was her path of least resistance. Like, we had been working now for a while. Now we had been working back and forth with coaching and everything for a while, and we were talking about amazing possibilities that exist, like, and not having to prove our worthiness and not having to work hard towards something, and letting things happen to us, and being inspired to take the next action. So that's what happened. So that's the fun stuff that happens. First thing is, when you are convinced of your desire, when you're excited by your desire, you want to take action, you want to do something, you want to create something, you want to meet people, you want to do something. So it's very natural, right? If for in Akanksha's case, I love her story so much, so I keep referring to her. she wanted to set up her business, this beautiful clothing line business. So she wanted to learn, she wanted to create, she wanted to go and see how it's done. So it's the exciting thing, it's the journey on that path to, that manifestation. So it just feels like, wow, why shouldn't I do that, right? There's fun in the action. I mean, you could be sitting at home and be a best-selling author the next day. Someone just tells you, oh, now you are the best-selling author. That's fun, sure, but isn't it also fun to actually sit down and write something, actually feel that thing pouring out of you, actually feel yourself expanding to become an author, and then see that journey unfold and then become a best-selling author? Isn't that fun? There's something that I mentioned, I think, in the third day, is that all the goals that we have set for ourselves on the second day is just an excuse for us to expand and have that beautiful journey and have all of those different things that we get to do along the path to get to our manifestation. So the path of least resistance is also the path of most fun. It's the path of most joy. You get to interact with so many people, you get to do more things, you get to understand who you are on a whole different level, right? So action is a natural part of the manifestation. I think all the conversations around law of attraction, all the authors, and especially The Secret, don't talk so much about the action because it just feels very obvious that you will feel inspired to do something. So they're focusing on telling you, well, you deserve to have everything that you desire. You ask for something, the universe wants to provide it to you. You ask for something, there are 100 paths that are laid out in front of you to move towards the thing that you want to manifest. So that's obvious that at some point you would feel like doing something, but it's not required. And again, if you're not connected to what you want, if you're not inspired by it, if it feels too far off and you have beliefs that tell you, well, that's difficult, you can't have that, old stories, then any amount of action that you take feels like it's draining you. It feels like resistance. It feels like you're pushing against the wall. So that's not really productive. But when you are in line with what you want, you're feeling excited, you're feeling happy, then you don't have to put so much effort. I mean, in my own life, and you might have also experienced that, sometimes you're trying to put so much effort, but it doesn't really result into, something productive. Back in college, when we were studying and everything, I remember in my final semester, I had decided that I'm going to get a good CGPA. I had decided, I think, so in India, the system is that 10 is the highest CGPA, and then, it's the other way around. So I decided I'd get like 8 or something. And I was doing a couple of things. I was part of another club, and I was also organizing my own internship. I was doing all those things. So I decided I want it to be easy. I want it to be chill. I don't want to work extra hard, and I want to get a good CGPA. Now, when I set that intention, when I was connected with that desire, automatically I felt the inspiration while I was sitting in the class to pay more attention, to make great notes. So whatever I was studying in the class was good enough for me, because usually before that, what I would do, I would chill in the class, be on my phone, not pay attention, and then have to study like 2 weeks before the exam. But since I set the intention, the path of least resistance, so the idea that came to me was, well, pay attention in class. And I did. And I did a pretty good thing. And I didn't have to study as much, and I got a really good score. Why I'm telling you this story is because I remember there was another classmate of mine, very good friend. He used to go for like continuously 2 weeks before the exam. He would be sitting in the library poring over all these books. And I thought, well, wow, that's someone who's really, really, putting so much effort. Maybe they'll score well. And then when the final results came out, I scored much better than him. But it wasn't something to just boast or something. That was a big reflection for me, a big insight for me, that, well, it's not always the hard work, it's not always the effort that gives you the result. It's it's a decision, it's a belief that this is what I want, this is how this is what I'm deciding for, and I want to manifest this, and I can see it happening for me. And whatever is the next step, something I have to do, someone I have to speak to, there's an inspired idea, it shows up in my life. I have so many stories around it. One last, before I add someone to the call, maybe I'll add Hayward. So this story is another one that I've shared many times, but it's about my internship in Germany. So the traditional path, I applied for the traditional path, which is applying to an internship organization, did not get through it. So when I didn't get through it, I was still very connected to the desire. I have to go to Germany. I want to go there. And I know it's going to happen. I was very clear about it. So when the thing did not work out, a new idea popped up in my mind, an inspired idea popped up in my mind to reach out directly to professors that are there in Germany instead of going through the traditional route of applying through organizations and internship organizations, especially. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just go up and look at all the professors that are there in Germany and look at the ones that I want to apply to. And I did a lot of research, like I found all these different institutions, and that research felt exciting to me because every time I would pull up the website of one of the, institutions or organizations or universities in Germany, it just excited me with the possibility. It excited me that, oh, this is possible, I can go there, right? So none of that was efforting, none of that was hard work, it was exciting. And I applied to probably or five professors only, and one of them replied, and it was the easiest interview ever. Another thing that another one of those experiences where my dad thought it's a scam. He's like, where are you going? Who is going to take care of you there? Like, he didn't know where I'm heading. He wanted to cross check. He did cross check if it was a genuine internship or not. But of course, it was one of the best things ever that I could have asked for. So when you have a desire in your mind, the path is going to be unique to you. Whatever needs to be done, or whatever is lined up for you in that path from where you are, from A to B, you may have resistance, you may have beliefs that say that this is difficult, this can't happen this way, and all of that. But when you're connected with your desire, a path will show up for you around your resistance for you to get to the next step. Oftentimes there would be inspired ideas, oftentimes there will be other people who will just show up in your life at the right time, say the right thing that you need to hear. Sometimes it'll be an action that you feel inspired to take. So action is a part of that journey. It's not exclusive to your path of manifestation. So there's none of law of attraction versus action, because that's the misconception I've heard a lot of the times. Action is a part of this path, but it's a delicious path, it's a fun path, it's an exciting path. There's no need of justifying what you desire. There's no need of trying to prove your worthiness to do something. So that's something that I wanted to share. Thanks. Wrapped in words. That's a good story. That's what you say. So I have some final journal prompts for you if you'd like to consider that, because if you'd like to see what's the next action step for you, because still I know people want to take action, and it's completely acceptable. You want to take action. So when in day 2, we talked about your goal. So when you are thinking about your goal, whatever's the next thing you want to do, right? It's to want to manifest a relationship, or wanting to have a car, or wanting to have a business, whatever it may be for you, wanting to have a boutique, as you said, Akanksha. You want to identify how it makes you feel, right? It makes you feel excited, it makes you feel confident, it makes you feel like you're worthy, or it makes you feel like or you can go more into the specifics of the feeling, that it makes me feel like I'm loved. If it's a relationship that you want to manifest, if it's some sort of harmony that you're seeking in your family, you want to feel like that connection, you want to feel like that appreciation for your family members. So identify whatever your goal is, what we did in day 2, identify the feelings behind it, specifically what are the kind of feelings, right? If you want to have more money, how would you feel about yourself? As you're stepping into a shop, you'd feel very confident, right? So what are the feelings you want to manifest through that? And the prompt that I have for you, or the question or the activity that I have for you, is to look at your life right now and look at where you can feel those feelings already. Don't wait for the goal to come into your life to feel like, okay, once I have the business, once I have the relationship, then I would feel like I'm loved and I'm worthy. Don't wait for that. Do that here, right now. I mean, you have your life right here, right now, right? You can experience those feelings right here, right now. Everything that we want is actually, because we think once we have it, then we'll feel those feelings. But the good news is that you can feel those feelings right now. And it's not faking it. It's definitely not faking it, because you have those opportunities right here, right now, to experience those connections, to experience that love, to experience that confidence, to experience that pride in yourself. So I remember when I had the first client ever, when I was speaking to them, or I was doing one of those programs, these free programs, and there were only a few people. I have still the vision of, doing this with a huge crowd. And there was a part of me which was like, wouldn't it be so nice if I was, addressing a huge crowd and, talking on the stage, and some part of me felt like that's when I get there, then I would have arrived, then I would be impacting millions, then I would be doing amazing stuff. Even before my first client, let's go back to before having the first client. So I thought when I would be a life coach, wouldn't it be so fun? I would be impacting people, shaping lives, doing all those things. But what I did was that I reflected, I realized that I'm putting that feeling out there, and I'm kind of putting myself down here that I can't do that right now. I don't have that right now. I'm not that person right now. So I had to shift that. I was like, no, I am already a life coach. The post, or the title of a life coach signified certain feelings. This is how I feel. This is how I feel that I'm impacting people, connecting with people, uplifting people. And then I realized, well, I already do that. I already, all my friends reach out to me for help and guidance, and I already uplift them. And I remember all the past experiences where I had done before. And then that filled me up with those, feelings that I already am that uplifter. I'm already helping people. I'm already bringing clarities to so many people and helping them manifest the things that they desire. When I was having this, these live calls with this very small group, I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice if I could do it on Instagram? That was crazy for me. But then I was like, no, what about the people who are right here, right now? I'm already doing that. So take the step, the next logical step. Put yourself in that place where you will feel those feelings, because that's what you want to feel anyway. And you get to have this right now. There are so many opportunities to feel the love. If you're wanting to manifest a relationship and you're thinking, well, I don't have the love, you're missing out on the love that exists right here, right now in your world. The love from your parents, the love from your friends, the love from nature around you, love from, you can go up till, if you want to really, really feel the love, you can look at all the objects around your life and feel that, oh, everything around me loves me. So the option to feel those things already exist. The actions that you would want to take, it already exists. Don't wait for the next thing that, okay, when I have the car, then I would feel the thrill, then I would feel, excited, then I would feel confident about myself. You get to feel like that right here, right now. And it'll put you in the place, it'll put you vibrationally, emotionally, mindset wise, it'll put you in the right place to manifest the next step. So when you feel like you want to take action, look for the emotional cues. Where in my life right now can I feel like that? What's the action that I can take that will make me feel like that right now? And then go ahead in that direction. Okay, so I have a question here. I have a question. Do you have a few minutes to answer that? Yeah, sure, I do. So let me see if I can invite Hayward first, because Hayward, are you still around? I would love to know what's your name, because I see you wrapped in words head to toe. So I'm sure. Um, Good morning.
Good morning. What time is it there?
It is 9 p.m. 9:04. Wait, can you hear me?
Wonderful. Well, we'll put you in bed in the right vibrate. Oh wait, what am I saying? You don't go to bed for like 3 more hours. But the other day, my mom had a passing thought that she was like, oh, she's like, someone said a joke about teasing her about how she used to always get massages, and she's like, yeah, I would like a massage and a facial, and it was just a passing thought that went through her mind, and then switch scenes to my life, and I am currently at the laser hair removal place, and because I'm going to get rid of my beard finally. Because I have to shave once every 3 to 4 days, otherwise I cut my skin
Okay.
up bad. So I'm like, okay, how much to just zap the whole thing off? $700? Okay, I'll do it. $700. Here you go. And I gave it to, and I said, oh really? All sales are fine. Oh, that's fine. So we get down there, and I put the numbing cream on my face and everything, and she goes, okay, now let's take the numbing cream off. It was an appropriate amount of time, and then she's like, okay, here we go, and zap, and it was, whoa, it was way harder than I thought, and
Okay.
and I was like, is there a lower setting on here? And she goes, it's on the lowest setting, and I said, oh no. And I said, okay, hit me again, zap, ah, zap, oh, and it was just not good, not good. And so finally she stopped it. She said, I'm stopping this. And
Okay.
so we stopped, and they said, all sales are final. You have, so I can't get my $700 back. So they said, but you can transfer it for facials and massages if you want. And I said, fine, okay, here's my mother's name, very cool voice. And they put her in it. And
So it's your mom. Your
and I
mom
called her up.
manifested.
I said, "Hey, Merry Christmas! You got an early present."
Well, that's an interesting path of least resistance, of course. But she manifested it. Wouldn't
And
that be
I'm
nice
happy
to
that I got a story that amuses people and makes people laugh. So I'm happy.
hear?
It's a good exchange.
Yeah, it is. But that's a really fun story. Like I saw that post on your Facebook profile, but this now makes sense. Now that you explain everything to me, this makes sense. Now I get it. Your mom manifested that through the path of least resistance. Maybe it was difficult. I don't know. Because I think sometimes, at least I know from me, that it's a little bit difficult to believe in jackpots and all of that. Like I want to shift my belief around it and just winning things for free, but that's a fun way. Exchange is a fun way to manifest that.
I mean, yeah, and like if for people outside of the situation,
Yeah,
my mother had a thought. Oh, it would be so nice if I did massages and
yeah.
facials. Well, there you go. This place literally has special like, and then all of a sudden she has $700 worth out of nowhere.
Wow.
Taking my part out, but like, and so I mean, I definitely never would have planned on giving my mother that big of a present ever. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at least for not a couple more years till I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I was saying because she was resistant at first. She was like, "Well, what did you sign? And can you? I have a friend who's a lawyer. We could talk to them. And did you sign anything?" I said, "Yes, it's yours. I don't want to deal with it. It doesn't feel good energetically to try to get the money back. Enjoy the massages. You have a good time."
Wow. And you could gift her. Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? That is
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Hayward. That's such a fun story. Interesting story, let's say. So that is really, really fun that, well, it can happen through path of least resistance. I remember like talking about our parents when we got to the city where we are in, the town where we are in, there was a certain ID document that was required, this identification document. And my dad had certain resistance that I realized because you had to do certain things, few things to get that thing and get the ID document. And my dad was like, I'm not sure if we can have it and it may be difficult and all of that. And because of our past experiences or because of the things that we have picked up from our from the people around us, the society and everything, we could have those resistances that I think it's difficult and all those fears and doubts. But someone else can come around and they are the path of least resistance for you to have what you want. So I remember so clearly that there was a lady in our building, she still is, and she was like, why don't you have that ID card yet? Like I was discussing it with her. I said, well, it requires a certain different document that we don't have yet. She said, oh no, that's not required. I know someone who can get it done for you without any problem within the same day. I said, oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Thank you for letting me know that. She said, we could go right now. Do you have your pictures? Do you have this and that? I was like, yeah, I do. She's like, let's go. She was free. I was free. And that was amazing. And so I come back home, like I was with her. I come back home, collect the things that were required. We head to the office and get it done within like 10 minutes. She goes there, she connects me with this person who can do it for us, some authority, local authority here. He gives us the documents and it's done. It is done in a few minutes. And I come back home and I show my dad, well, we have it now, so now we can apply for the ID. And it was the path of least resistance for him, this lady who knew this guy, and for me being inspired to bring this up in the conversation. Like all the components were ready. That guy was in the office, he was happy, he was free, so everything just lined up. Even though my dad had the resistance, had the desire of having the ID, I had the desire of having the ID, it all just panned out so easily. So loved that you brought that up, Hayward. My mom does not see me as someone who can provide her with $700 worth of spa treatment. So for her, I was the path of resistance. Yeah, exactly. So let's see if I can invite Ananya. Would love to know what you have. What's the question you have? Thanks, Hayward. Hayward says, wonderful story. There are so many such stories. Hi, Ananya. Nice to see you
Hi,
here.
Sanjana. Yeah, you too.
I think I've been seeing your page for a while now, and I think maybe I saw your page just today. I think it's so fun.
Okay.
Manifested you in my life. So amazing.
Wow, it is.
Okay, so what's your question? What's on your mind?
So basically, the thing is, I wanted to ask. I have been. You listen to Abraham Hicks too. I am understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have been listening to hours and hours of Abraham Hicks for a really long time.
Yeah.
But but I would say that I have not had brought long-term clarity for a really long time. Like I am a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and I love my job, but for a very long time I wanted more.
Okay.
And for a very long time, also, I have been stuck in a way that I have not gotten the clarity to know what is that more that I am moving towards.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah, and that has been troubling me for a really long time. And after listening to Abraham Hicks and after learning about spirituality and all that, I have come to know stuff which has helped me on a day-to-day basis. Like right now, I ask myself, what is my path of least resistance, and what will give me a little relief right now? What thoughts are going to make me feel just a little better right now?
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I seem to lose my train of thought now and again,
Mm-hmm.
and there are small manifestations that come to my life. But the big things that I have been aspiring for a long time, they seem to be like not coming, and I feel like, will I always be in this thing that I like a little bit but not that much, it's not the full manifestation of my desires, and the thing that I really want to do, I can't really give it a name, I feel like.
Okay.
So what are your thoughts on that?
So let me just let me know if I'm getting you correctly. So there is something beyond what you're doing currently as a doctor, which is amazing. There's something that is, that's bubbling within you that I want to do something more beyond this. And right now you're not clear on what's the next step or what it is or what it could be. Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah, basically I worked for 1 year, and then there's this NEET PG exams right now for MD admissions.
mm-hmm.
So I was studying for it, and learning about spirituality has helped me stay grounded.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I couldn't, if I wanted to, dive into it and give my best, but I have not really been able to do that for a long time because I feel like something within me is telling me this is not,
Your path.
um, something about it is not just right. It is right. It is okay for now, but it's just not right. And I have been doing it a little with a little less of heart right now. I'm not doing
Mhm.
it. I'm doing it a little bit half-heartedly because um,
Yeah.
I don't
You
know,
feel it's not,
something.
yeah. You feel like there's something, but you're not able to see what it is, and you're feeling a bit frustrated, not having the clarity, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
So let's paint a picture. In your ideal life, if you knew exactly what you were going to do, let's not try to define it by job. Let's not try to define it, but what it would entail and what it would feel like, but or like what would be your day-to-day thing. But let's say fast forward 2 years and you have figured it out. You're doing the thing that you want to do, whatever is bubbling through you. What would it feel like? What are the components? Maybe you feel, okay, I like a little bit of what they are doing, I like a little bit, so maybe I think I might be doing something like that. So in very vague terms, let's try to put a picture. What comes across?
You mean in terms of feelings?
Yeah, in terms of feelings, in terms of let me give you an example. So I was in the exact same place where you are right now, after I had graduated from my engineering degree, and I knew that I wanted to do something to uplift people, to help people, but I had no idea how I could do it because I had done my degree in biotechnology engineering, and I was like, is it through this? Do I have to find an NGO that has done something like this, or is it completely something else? And I was just looking all over the place for like that one solution. Okay, what's that one job? What's that one, profession? But I was like, wait a second, let's just like release that. Let's just put a bigger picture. What do I want to feel like that I want to do? Number one thing that popped up for me was to help people, to uplift people. Very vague, didn't know how, what's the path, but just like I want to uplift people. Next thing that came up was I want to talk to a lot of people, like, stand in front of like a crowd and talk to a lot of people. Another thing that popped up was to earn well from that. Another thing that popped up was to have a great team that I can work with and, great friends and great connections. But none of it was like, okay, this is the job that I wanted. It was very vague pieces here and there. So I just want to know from you, what are the vague pieces? It's okay if it's just one thing that pops up. So what is it for you?
Okay. So I found out that, like, while you were describing your journey, I found out that some of the things were similar. Like, I want to interact to large audiences. So that is something that really uplifts me,
Mm-hmm.
and I love people. I really
Yes.
love people, and I love spending time with good people, people who get me, people who I get, and people I can have meaningful conversations with, you know. And by the end of the conversation, we both get something out of
Yes.
it. So,
That.
and obviously, I want to help and uplift people,
Mhm.
but I really want it to be an
Yes.
exchange of ideas.
Yes. So let's keep it at that for now, just for now, because right now what is happening is, and I can tell you absolutely from personal experience also, because when we are focusing too much of, I don't know what it is, I can't figure it out, I'm frustrated, your focus is on, I don't see it, I don't know when it's going to come about and everything, and maybe there's a little bit of a feeling of a deadline also, that this examination is coming up, and I have to make a decision here and there, so there could be those feelings. So what I would invite you to do is shift your focus away from, it's not happening, I don't get it, I don't know how it'll happen, to, okay, what's the feeling that I get here? What are the pieces that I get here? What feels good about it? Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
One more thing that I sometimes not fully consciously, but there's something I tend to do is kind of force myself to love my job right now, which might not be exactly a bad thing, but it doesn't always make me feel good because I feel like this is my responsibility, this is my duty. I'm supposed to love it. I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do it well. So kind of want try to study and try to move in that direction, but
So
I can't move beyond a point,
yeah.
and
So
it's
let's
just
let's
yeah.
not try to love your job. Let's try to, connect with this thing that's, shaping up within you. Because what's happening is, you're like, I know there's something here, but I don't know what it is. So you're looking at this and you're feeling frustrated. And then you're like, well, my job is like this. I should love it. So there's like this feeling of frustration. This is either at your job, when you're looking at your job, and also this thing that's not shaping up yet. So I want to share with you the experience, both the things that I want to share. One of the people that I work with, great friends, and I shared about her story yesterday. When we were working together, she got into a new job that was difficult and challenging for her, not her industry, not her favorite field of area, but she was like, I want to get easier and comfortable with this. And at some point, she came to this, like, I hate it. I don't think I want to continue in this, and all of that. So one of two things will happen. Once you connected with that excitement of, okay, there is something that's bubbling through, there's something that I want to do, there is something in upliftment, there's something in connecting with people. When you are letting that grow, letting that momentum grow, don't see it as, I don't know what it is, it's too vague and it's not serving me right now. Don't go into the frustration, but go into the appreciation and connection and the excitement that comes through it. I don't see what it is, but I think there's something really good here. And our interaction is also not a coincidence, right? This is the next step, this is the path of
I,
leading.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
guess.
so this is, be connected to that. So one of two things will happen, again, through the paths of least resistance. Either the next logical step will show up for you. Maybe it's a course, maybe it's a person that you need to speak to, maybe someone who does exactly the thing that you didn't know. You'll be like, oh, that is what I want to do, right? Maybe that thing will show up. Or maybe at your work, it will transform in a way that it excites you, and then it takes you to the next step. What you want, what is shaping up, is there for you. So don't feel defeated a bit ki, Arey, this is not clear and I don't like my job, this is a dead end. Like, let it shape up. Right now, those are just like the next steps, right? So what happened for the client that I was talking about, she hated it, and we talked about not hating it. We're like, let it be whatever it is, be connected to what you want. And she was working in an oil industry engineering job, and she wanted to do marketing and beauty products. So it was so different. And we were like, okay, you're going daily, you're going to, this oil industry engineering job, but I'm telling you to think about marketing and beauty products and how that makes you feel. So, the same thing, very vague, but still you know what you're going for. So she got connected with this. And the crazy thing happened, like, this company received a project from one of the big beauty brands in India, and they wanted to do a marketing campaign. And she was hired exactly for that project to do the thing. And she said, I can't believe that my company, Oil Industry Engineering, could have a beauty product marketing thing just for me.
Okay.
And the whole thing shifted, and she couldn't wait to go to work every day. So either that can happen, right, for you also. So instead of like being like, I don't like this also, and I don't like this also, but this is not clear, and I know this is not my path, right? Let's not be in the place of I don't like this. Let's be in the path of it's going to unfold. More faith, more like connection with what this idea is, what it feels like. Just get connected with the feeling. I would love to be uplifting. I'd love to connect with people. I would love to see smiles on their faces. I would love that exchange. And let the next thing show up for you. Path is ready, right? So you just want to shift from that resistance thing to more allowing space. I know I can talk to you in Abraham terms. So there's a little bit of resistance right now. It's not good, and it's frustration and all of that. So you want to shift from frustration to hope, to okay, it's gonna unfold, it's gonna happen, and I'm looking forward to it. So connect with that, excitement of it. Connect with, so there's something more for me. I see myself doing something more exciting. So don't hate where you are at. Like, not in terms of I have to love my job, I have to try to love my job, but like just don't hate it, but be connected to this thing, and it's gonna grow, and it's gonna attract to it the next step for you. So it'll be a perfect unfolding. Like for me also, like it unfolded in a different way. For me, the path of least resistance was I took up a course popped up for me, which was about social entrepreneurship. I was like, well, let me just do it. And by the end of it, I had attracted a friend from like years back who was like, well, I'm doing an startup. I have a startup, which is exactly around the topic that I was thinking of. So I attracted him in my life after years, and we were at the exact same place and what we were thinking, what we wanted to do next. So he showed up in my life. I had like a 2 years great journey of, startup and everything, and talking to kids and being in front of an audience, having the team, all the things that I had put down, which was so big, started happening. And then from that, life coaching very naturally came. Like, okay, someone reached out to me and they were like, can you help me achieve this goal? So then I realized, oh, there's something called as life coaching. I didn't know that existed. Okay, I think Ananya disconnected. So path of least resistance. Don't fight where you are at. I hope you can hear me. Hayward says, as a doctor, I always wanted to visualize my co-workers saying, why do your patients get better so quickly? That's impossible. They must be faking. Isn't that fun? Wait, hi, Rishabh. Okay, so many people here, but I can't see Ananya. Let's see if I can add her. All I do is just listen to them and watch them get better. Wouldn't that be nice, Hayward? You'd make a wonderful doctor. Okay, let's see if I can add her again. Anyway, I think if she will join, she will ask for an invitation again. So for anyone else who was connecting to that idea or resonating with what I was saying this to someone else just before the call as well, who was in a different place around relationships. What they were seeing in front of them, they were not sure like how this relationship is going. They were not sure if it's the right person or not. And also they had previous experiences which were not good in their relationships with the love aspect. And they were telling me that, I had an idea of what love feels like. I know what, how I want to feel. And there's a vision that I have. But what I see in front of me and what I just experienced, it feels like, that's not the vision of what I wanted. And so she was like, is this the right path or not? I don't know how to do this or how to go about it. So again, the same thing that I said to her, but in a different context, of course, different subject, is that connect with the feeling of love. When you connect with whatever you want, right? That's when we were talking about day 2, the end happy vision, how you want to feel in a relationship, how you want to feel at a job, how you want to feel fulfilled, you want to feel satisfied, you want to feel more components will show up. At least first connect with the feeling of love. Then the clarity will also show up that, okay, I would want a partner who is also interested in this. And you look at, since you're thinking of love and you're feeling love, you'll see more examples of that, oh, I love how they looked at their partner with absolute adoration. That's what I want in my life experience, right? So when you connect with that thing and let that grow within you, let that expand within you, let that gain momentum, then it will attract to it the next steps, the next path, the next step in your path of least resistance will show up. One of two things will happen always. Either what you see in front of you will change, right? Whatever's surrounding you right now will change, or what's not serving you will shift away to make space for the thing that's a match to you. So either you'll still stay in the job and the job will transform in a way that will be so exciting and satisfying for you, and that'll keep moving in a way that feels good and fulfilling for you, or this thing will just fade away naturally and the next new thing will just pop up in front of you and be like a very obvious decision that, yeah, I think this makes sense. This is what I want to do, right? So path of least resistance always, but the important point is to connect with where you're going. What's the feeling that you're looking at? How do you want to feel? And just hold on to that vision. Forget what's around you, forget the confusion from both the sides, but connect with that feeling that will always be exciting, always be uplifting, always be exhilarating. Okay, hi, you're back, Ananya. Let's see if I can add you again. But in case I can't, I hope you can catch the replay. Let's see, I'm trying to add you. And you can, reach out to me on Instagram anytime. So thanks, Kristen. Kristen says, beautifully said. Let me see if there are any other comments. Okay, so this was the end of the 5-day program. So the 5 days were about, whatever desire you have, wherever you are at your life right now, you can feel uplifted, you can feel good, shift your beliefs and connect with the desire that you have. The first day was about appreciating where you are at right now, appreciating aspects of your life, appreciating yourself, and being in that space which is not frustrated, which is not resentful, being in a space which is hopeful, which is excited. So if you go back to the day one, Ananya, you could feel like, wow, I got to this place, I'm a doctor now, and it's amazing. I remember at a time where I didn't know what I want to do, or probably I didn't think that this is possible, or at some point where this was a dream, now it's my reality, right? It's great to feel good. So that was day one. Day two was connecting with your desire. What's the end happy vision? How does it feel? How does it, and not looking at the obstacles. So here again, in Ananya's case, the obstacle is that I don't see what's the next step. I don't have the clarity, right? So instead of thinking like what I want to manifest is, this next opportunity, go to the end feeling. What's the end feeling that you want to have? The end vision is that feeling of clarity, that feeling of certainty, the feeling of stability and surety within yourself. I'm doing exactly what I'm meant to do. That feeling of resonance with where you're standing, that, oh, I get this. This is who I am. This is what I wanted to do. That's what you want to connect with. That's what you want to hold a vision of. And that's what you want to feel. Third day was about shifting your beliefs, shifting the stories that say that you can't have what you want, or the old stories that you may have had, so you can shift those. Yesterday was about feeling good, how we can feel better no matter where we are at. And today was about talking about action. Like, action is just a part of the whole process. It's a fun part of the process. It doesn't have to be an effort, but the main thing is you connecting with the vision, you having those beliefs that you can have that, you having the faith and joy in yourself, that yes, this is something that I want and I can have it. So tomorrow, the day after, and the next day after that, I'm going to have 3 of the participants who had previously joined my 2-week program. And those are going to be great conversations. So I had initially planned that I'd create a whole video with them. I would do it on YouTube, but it requires a lot of effort. Again, it requires a lot of effort of editing and putting it on YouTube and everything. So for me, the path of least resistance, the most fun path is to have a live call. So I'm going to invite them over on Instagram tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be Mrityunjay, MJ. I'll share his story. He had a great shift in his career that way. He was doing something else, again, studying engineering, and he wanted to be a cricketer. And there was this obstacle of what seemed like his family needed to be convinced and all of that. So there was a story within himself that, maybe this is not possible, maybe this is not acceptable. And that kind of a shift happened. So that was an amazing thing, because recently he texted me, I think earlier this year or next year, or the year before that he said, right now I'm living the life that I always wanted to live. I'm going to play cricket, my family is supporting me, and I'm so excited, I'm so fulfilled. And this was something that felt really far-fetched 2 years back. So I would love to have him here. I'm inviting him here, and I would love for you to also attend the conversation to see how he shifted, how amazing his story is. The next day I'm going to be inviting, on Friday, I'm going to be inviting the person that I was sharing about right now with her job changed. Her whole thing shifted. And even we've been working now for a while now. So there's been so much shift in who she is and what she's doing, and so much clarity in what she wants to do. And the third is like the epitome of this whole conversation, that there's not having the clarity of who you are. She had this feeling, and I know her since a long time. She's a close friend, and then we started working together. She's also participated in my 2-week programs. So she always had those thoughts that I knew as a friend, who am I? What am I wanting to do? And what defines me, what's something that I really want to, achieve in life, and what are my goals. There was a lot of, not having clarity. And then step by step, she became this person who absolutely stood out. When she joined her college, she was not sure if, she's going to fit in well, and, all these new people and everything. And as she ended this whole course, she stood out. She won a national level competition with L'Oreal. I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal that or not, the name of the company, but she won that prize, and she just stood out for exactly who she is and what her vision was. And she, now is working in her dream company. So amazing, inspiring stories tomorrow, day after, and the day after that. So I hope you can connect and join there. And on Monday, since from Monday, I'm going to be starting my 2-week program. So these 3 people are people who have, gone through these programs, and I've connected with them so many times in different levels and different, different dreams that they have, different beliefs that they have. And if this resonated with you, if these 5 days resonated with you, clicked with you, and you want to explore more, then I would love to invite you for the 2-week program. So we're going to be starting on Monday. That is, let me check on the calendar. That's 20th September. And from, I think 2 weeks from then, I think is 2nd October. So I love the timing of it. Like I felt inspired to do it from Monday. And I think as soon as we end it on 2nd October, it's like you're entering October, November, December, the last quarter of this year, with this renewed focus on where you're going and this excitement and upliftment. So if that resonates with you, I would love to invite you for a 2-week program. I'll give you a little bit of a detail on it. I'll also share a video. I'll also share a post, but I think when you can speak, video would convey it more better than, a post. So it's going to be a 2-week program. It's going to be on Facebook. I really like Facebook for groups that way, because you can have a close community. Instagram is more open that way, and it's more like not that connected, especially for a community. So on Facebook, we'll have this program. If you're not on Facebook, you can just create a fake profile for the 2 weeks, and it's going to be fun. And there I'm going to be having these live calls. There we will have, every day we will have some activity, some prompt that will help you shift wherever you are, whatever you're feeling, this uncertainty or feeling of lack or a feeling of confusion. So we'll have these activities that will help you shift every day towards your goal, feel good about where you are, shift your beliefs. And every alternate day we will have this live call. So in those live calls, I'll go deep into those topics. I'll go deep into whatever is, your concern, whatever is your desire. So then you can hop in the call, and then, absolutely freely you can share about whatever your desires are, whatever your dreams are, and also what are your limiting beliefs. So then I can help you right there one-on-one, and we can talk about how we can shift it. And amazing things happen in those 2-week programs. Like, I know that at the end of it, I've shared this before, I think, but at the end of it, someone had a promotion by the end of it. So my friend, again, 3 people who are going to come the next few days, those are people who have manifested amazing things and have participated in these programs, many times before. So amazing transformation is available. But I think the most valuable thing is, you get a space where you can just express your dreams, you can express your fears, and you have a community and you have a group of people who are there rooting for you, supporting you, and also in the same space. Because a lot of times when we share our desires and our dreams with maybe close friends and people around in our families, they may not be able to hold that vision for you. They may, kind of shut it down and be like, well, that's not possible, and I don't think that is something that is, something that is achievable. So you should be realistic. But that's not going to be the case in our group. I'm going to be pushing you to, believe in your desire. And when you can't, I will be holding the vision for you. So then you can come up and have the next step, and you move in the next direction, shift your next belief, so you can have the manifestation that you desire. So I'm going to be starting this on Monday, and you're invited. It's a paid program. It's going to be costing 5,000 Indian rupees, 73 US dollars and 53 pounds. 73 US dollars, or if you're in London, it's going to be 53 pounds. I don't know how much it would cost in euros, but I'll share more details tomorrow. So I hope to see you there. If that's something that resonates with you, I think I would just love to invite you. But in any case, tomorrow, day after, and on Saturday, I'm going to have live calls, some amazing conversations. So I'm going to quickly go through the comments and see if I missed something. Ananya says, either ways, we have got to take this conversation forward. Yes. So I would love to connect with you after the call, Ananya. Thank you for joining in today. Okay, thank you so much for participating in the 5 days with me, and I hope to connect with you here on Facebook or just anywhere on WhatsApp, if you have my number, I'm happy to reach out to you, happy to connect with you, happy to help you feel uplifted and believe in your dreams. Happy manifesting.